Another skill you want to be able to have when querying Access database is the ability to do a crosstab query. Now what a crosstab query does is it can display information across two dimensions. So normally if I query everybody's name, I get Bob, Fred, Joe, Sally, Sue, and Mary, and I wanted to know how many purchases they had made, or the total amount of their purchases, I would have total amount of purchases in this column and then the year in this column. However, if I want to compare what Bob has done in 2015 to 14 to 13 to 12, I want to see that spanned across columns. So to do this, you use a crosstab query. We'll demonstrate with the OSU data, and we're going to start by creating just a regular query, design query. We're going to use only the Oklahoma State data, and we'll do just what we said before. Let's say we'll use the name of the cardholder and the amount that they purchased, and we'd like to know the total amount they've purchased in all the time periods. So we also want year in there so we can see how much they purchased each year. So if I run this, what you can see is the names that come down here, and for example, A. Adkins in 2010 spent $25.82, 2011, etc., etc. Again, not the most useful for comparisons across time. So what we can do is we can come in here and under Design, we click on one of these different types of queries. Now the crosstab query is what we're going to talk about, so we click on that, and if you'll look down here at the bottom, right there, you'll see it go from sort to crosstab. It adds a new little dimension in here that we can do. These are really easy to make. So when you click on crosstab, you can see there's three different options. To run a crosstab query, you need to specify a row, a column, and a value. If you don't have those three, it will not work. So for names, we want those to be in the rows. Year, we want those to be in the columns, and then the amount to be the value. So simply specify that and click View. Let the machine run for a minute. And there you have it. Now you can see that A. Adams had $2,973.93 in 2011, nothing in 2012, etc., etc. And it's a quick, easy way to make comparisons across the different fields. Now, there's a few limitations with crosstabs. Say I want to know the amount they purchased, but also the number of transactions. So we'll go ahead and just put in the ID, and we'll say let's count the ID. So that'll give us how many transactions they had. And so I want to specify that as a value. Well, the problem is when I click Run, you can only have one row heading, one column, or one value option. It can't display it because it doesn't know where to put it. Now there is a workaround for this, and we'll go ahead and show you. We'll delete ID. We'll come in here and click on Builder and build a formula. So what we want here, let's create amount and transactions, we'll call it. So that's the total amount and the number of transactions. So that's my alias. Now to create amount, I need to sum the amount. Put it in square brackets. And then I need to also, to create the number of transactions, I need to count, and we'll call it just the ID. Okay? Now it's not going to know what to do with these because we haven't written the formula. So I want to concatenate these. So I'm going to put an and sign, my open bracket, a space, and then we'll put the number sign to show how many. And in front of the sum, so that we know that this is a value, we're going to put the dollar sign. All right, and then the ampersand. So that's going to show me dollar sign, then the total amount summed up, then the number sign, and how many were counted. So if I click OK, I can go ahead and run this. Oh, and let me show you that run again. This doesn't work because down here it's telling it to sum it, and we already put our formulas up here. So we need to change how we total it. To, instead of a sum, to an expression. We have to go ahead and build that again. Amount and transactions. we're going to do the $sign and the sum of amount, $sign or ampersand space, number sign, and the count of ID. All right, so now it's an expression listed in the value. So if we run that, you get this nice chart that shows two things. You can see that A. Adkins spent $25.82.94 and that was 10 transactions. Now this isn't the most user-friendly to look, especially when you have these nulls. You could make a more complex formula by using an if statement to pull those out or to do something different. Mostly this is just to show you how you can display multiple values in one crosstab. So with that, that's how you do crosstabs. They're under design. You just click crosstab and then you have to specify a row, a column, and a value, and you can play with it from there.